Hey everyone. It's cold here.
So today, we're going to be talking, as it was, I guess, asked,
Yeah, somebody made a suggestion.
that we speak of hexes and curses.
Yeah, the forbidden arts.
Dun, dun, dun.
But we're not exactly sure how we were going to hit this, but we're going to talk about it and then just let it free flow conversation.
I think it was just like what our personal points of view are.
Yeah. Now, again, mind you, disclaimer, we're not Wiccans. And a lot of people are going to bring up, well, what about the law of three if it comes back to you if you do anything like that? Yeah, I personally don't really believe in that.
Me either. So, every witch is a witch. Not every witch is Wiccan, and not every Wiccan's a witch.
Mm-hmm.
But, I guess a good way to start out is our views, which is pretty much the same on energy and how it goes about. Pretty much agree with physics, because science. So, whenever you cast out energy,
Returns to you threefold, apparently, or so is said, karmically and everything like that.
but what I like is how good karma is apparently the bad stuff that happens to you.
Yeah.
But they don't mention that.
Yeah, a lot of times, and I've heard this from other people too, who said that, good karma means that you're not living life. You are not going out there experiencing things. People are going to be like, well, what if somebody dies? Isn't that bad karma? Oh, it's debatable, and death is always tragic. But if it was a serial killer or anybody bad, then it's always considered a good thing.
Yeah.
So you're putting that, and I'm going to say it, ill intent, bum, 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 out there. So regardless, you're going to get it. Remember?
My eye like glazed over. I'm like, really?
So what was the line that we used? If we offended you, it wasn't our intention. Yes.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Or mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Slytherin.
I'd probably be
Probably Gryffindor.
or Hufflepuff. I don't know why.
I don't think you'd be. I love the word Hufflepuff, but I think you'd be a Ravenclaw.
Mojo would be a Hufflepuff.
No, Mojo would be a
She'd be
Ravenclaw.
No, she'd be Slytherin.
She would. Me and her get along very well.
She's crazy.
Anyways, when energy goes out, it does not mean it's going to bounce back to you times 3 because, as I like to call it, there's not a cosmic hall monitor watching you saying 50 points from Hufflepuff for doing something bad, or Gryffindor or whatever. But when energy travels, if it doesn't hit its target, then
sometimes it'll do like a loop around and come back, or a ricochet. Especially if a person has really strong protective measures up, whatever you throw at them ends up getting thrown back.
It's like you're throwing shade. Magic shade, not normal shade. Magic shade. They get their big old spotlight on. It's like, shh.
Yeah, even like, with, I forgot where I was going to go with this, but it's like if, you were to go up and hit somebody, just walk up to them and bam, and they don't retaliate.
That means your curse hit. However,
there's still consequences to every action. Physics. You create a change and it spreads out. Sort of like dropping a pebble into a pond. It ripples. There's an effect. So the effect of that could be everybody telling them that, don't trust them. They're kind of an ass. Censored.
Oh, yeah, that happened to me back in New Mexico.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everyone thinks everyone was like acting like I was like the Wicked Witch of the West. Which, incidentally, I agree with her.
Because Glenda was actually kind of the bad guy, if you look at it. She had Dorothy be her hitman, who killed the witches so she could take over.
Yeah.
It's kind of shady.
Yeah, not to mention, like, manipulative as all hell. I'm gonna go pop Glenda's bubble.
Yeah, and if you look at the remake of The Wizard of Oz, how the character Oz played the Wicked Witch.
He was manipulated, too.
He ended up hurting her, and then she went all batshit crazy. I mean, you play with somebody's heart, of course you're going to act batshit crazy. I've been there.
I respect the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, and somebody called me a Wicked Witch today, too.
That's cute.
I know. Told you I have my dark side. Yeah.
Anyway.
But, with curses and hexes, it's, you don't have to go around flinging negativity at everybody.
You can if you want to. I mean, I had a problem with it for a while where I was like, yeah, I'm going to curse you, I'm going to curse you, I'm going to curse you. But I got over that.
Yeah, and with me, I never really went through that. I'm just like...
I got like a high off of it. It was something.
Yeah, it's a power trip. It's like I can manipulate fate and I have control over your fate and your
I felt
destiny.
like Willow in the Dark Willow episodes of Buffy the Vampire. Oh my god, head rush.
Yeah. And I think with me, the reason why I didn't go through that, a lot of that was because I was practicing Buddhism for several years. And I did go through my dark side. I just used to be a straight up ass. And I was, a complete jerk, and I didn't have to use magic to get back at anybody because I would do it actually instead of, I light this candle on you so that you'll have torments. I just go up to the person and just be like,
I like
puppets. Yeah. But, Buddhism actually did help me out a lot with that, and it helped calm me down. Even my relatives and family were like, he changed a lot. And it kind of stuck. So it helped me see the bigger picture.
Yeah, he's pretty calm.
Yeah,
I like to blow up a lot.
He used to.
I still do.
But,
and then you burp.
Yeah. Dealing with hexes and curses or casting them, it all depends on the individual. If you feel that it's warranted, go for it. But there are always consequences to every action. Even if you were to do like a love spell to attract someone new into your life, you have your action. Now you have to deal with the consequences. You might attract a psychotic, crazy person. I've done that before.
Mm-hmm. Like attracts like in the unseen world.
Yeah, and I've known magicians who have done money drawing spells and end up in like accidents, so they get this huge payout. So it all depends on how you word your spells, or the way that particular magician likes it, your intent. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so what are your personal views? And then I'll go into mine.
My personal views when it comes to cursing and hexing, it's if I have to. If somebody's messing around with me and it gets too, they just take it too far, or if somebody's harming my family or my friends, then it's on like Donkey Kong. Yes, that went there.
I'm like...
He's like, what?
No, I know. I was like waiting. I was like, someone's going to...
Yeah, these are our views only. But if somebody's harassing me or if somebody starts smack with him, of course I'm going to stand up and I'll be like, no. And it's gotten to that point a couple of times where, people thought that they would, hex him just to try to affect me, but, we just
My favorite is whenever they're hitting on you and then try to curse me, and I'm like...
Yeah, they're just stupid.
You're going to try again? There's two of us.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, one particular time we first started seeing each other, he got hexed really badly.
That was the first time I've ever gotten hit by a hex.
That was
intense.
Yeah, but within 10 minutes after doing the
proper working,
bam, you're back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while, I'll get hit. I'm not Superman. So, and when I get hit, it's just, I have people that I call for backup.
Oh, your backup is badass.
Yes.
Sorry, but she's badass.
That's how I roll. And she's helped him out several times. So we can, we have people that we depend on for backup in case things get too far or we can't handle the situation. Your turn.
With me, I like to think of it, was it in Grimoire of the Bloodthorn Witch or Old World Witchcraft that the quote was from?
I believe it's explained in both of them.
In both of them?
Yes.
Well, I like how Raven Grimacy put it, because I've agreed with it for a very long time, and also the way Aunt May put it. But a witch does not harm the innocent, and an innocent is defined as someone who does not cause affront to the witch. Or, as LeVay put it, I don't believe in turning the other cheek.
Mm.
You keep turning the other cheek, you run out of cheeks to turn, says Xena LeVay.
Mm-hmm. 2 cheeks and whack whack.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go on.
But if it gets to that point where, because he's right, I have calmed down a lot, where I'm like, protection, reversal, let me try another reversal. All right, I'm just going to cut you off at your fucking knees and let you fall to the ground in your death. But, I felt like Mad Hatter there for a second. Oh,
okay.
But anyways.
I don't know the reference, but keep going.
Someone will. Whoever's watching at some point probably might. But whenever it's gotten to that point and they just keep continuing and continuing, it's like someone being like told, don't put your hand on the stove, it's hot. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then they kind of like, well, maybe it won't burn again. And then at that point, I'm like, how about I just throw you in the oven? Because if you get to that point, you might as well stop it, because they're not going to stop. So I think you should just completely cut it off at the knees where it can't continue anymore. Regardless of repercussions, because if they're just going to keep throwing shade like that and you're like, I'm done. So other people might get hurt. It's not a guaranteed. Or you might get bad mouth like I did. But I mean, everything has its time and place. If they're really going to keep continuing, then you're a witch. Act like it.
Yeah, don't be the victim. But at the same time, also make sure that you know that if you're sensing they're feeling funk from a specific person, make sure you get it guaranteed. Because if you throw negativity back and they're not doing anything, or you try to hex them and then nothing's going on with, they're not doing anything to you, that person's SOL and you just harmed an innocent person. So, but I always had issues with hexing and cursing. It wasn't until I did some channeling work about a year or two ago, and an entity came through and just said, think of it like this. Say you're a bear sleeping in a cave, minding your own business, not doing anything, just doing your bear thing. Sounds funny.
Doing bear things.
Yeah.
Leather.
All of a sudden, a hunter comes up on you, starts poking you, or tries to kill you, or shank you, or something like that. Are you gonna lie there and take it and hope the person's like, oh my God, I'm gonna use my good intentions and love to set this person to stop? No. Or are you gonna, break out the claws and defend yourself?
Winter feast right there.
Yeah. So, and I tell this to people too. It's like if you get attacked on the street, are you gonna lie there and take it and hope for the person's evolution and growth while this person's trying to kill you, murder you, rape you, whatever? Or are you gonna defend yourself and try to take a person's eyeballs out in the process? So it all depends on the person. Yeah. The next thing I think would be how to know if you've been hexed or cursed. What are your takes on that?
I noticed that as I was cursed once, since I hadn't been cursed before, I was like, I wonder if my body reacts weirdly. And I've been getting cursed a lot from one particular person. However, did divinations, I'm not going to curse them because they're waiting for it. Because they have plans that I do not feel like following through. So I'm just like, But with me, I notice that my feet will get really hot and I'll get a hot flash.
Menopause.
Man.
Yeah.
A man, period.
Now, for me, sure signs that I know that from personal experiences, I have nightmares. Consistent nightmares. Just runs of bad luck, like really weird stuff. One day we were actually, not too long ago, we were driving down the street and a car nearly hit us head on. We're like, oh!
That was 3 days ago.
Yeah. just weird stuff like that happen out of the blue, and it happens consistently. It's like, okay, maybe I should be paying attention.
My nightmares picked up.
Yeah.
Recently, too. So, I mean, good thing I have that work going. But
yeah, so, those are ways that we know. Weird smells in your home. Like rotten, funky smells that aren't normal. Weird. We've had that a couple of times. And I've had it where I've actually smudged out, but this is before he moved in. I'd smudge out the apartment and it would smell like rotten meat. I'm like, okay, that does not smell right. It smells more like rotten hamburger than it does sage. So I ended up doing more cleansing work till the smell and stuff dissipated.
Or you can also end up getting like a heightened sense of fear. Weird anxiety.
Yes.
Depression.
Physical issues.
Oh, yeah.
Like, back, major backaches. We're not like, oh, my back hurts. Well, what was the...
But like you're crying trying to sit down.
Yeah, or, it's not like, oh, yeah, my back hurts today, someone's hexing me. No, if your back, we're talking about gut clenching. It feels like your spine is being split in half. And there's no medical reason for it. Key point. There's no medical reason for it. You go to the doctor and they say there's nothing wrong with you. Then the cause could be more spiritual oriented.
Or with your car.
Yes. We had an incident where we were coming back from New Mexico and he got hexed. And his car just about kept going out. We came home later to find out that somebody had done work to keep us from returning. So we did some unhexing work after spending a lot of money to get the car fixed.
Well, actually, we didn't spend anything to get the car fixed.
Yeah. Well,
because it was under warranty.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So that was my thing from a couple years ago. But
yeah.
weird stuff that, bad things happen in succession, constant succession. But again, you have to make sure that it's not your train of thought where you're constantly thinking, I have nothing but bad luck or nobody loves me, stuff like that. That becomes a negative affirmation, so you end up kind of working against yourself.
Mm-hmm. I'm still mad because of how that mechanic looked at me. He's like, you said it was doing this? What are you talking about? He was like, he was driving and I was in the passenger seat of my car and he's like gunning it through the side streets. It was awesome.
It only did it when he drove. I drove the thing. I hate driving his car and I can't drive his car at all.
My buggy's cute.
I hate your car.
My buggy's cute. My buggy's
cute. I don't like your car, but
it's cute seeing him drive a bug.
He's 6'5".
You're 6'5" less than me.
Yeah, I'm 6'5", and I'm trying to get into a little buggy, and I'm squished in there with my knees up to my, up to here with my hands. I'm like,
it's adorable.
Yeah, no, I drive a medium-sized SUV, so I can fit properly. But
I'm still waiting for the clowns to get out the car.
Yeah, but you got to look out for signs like that. Constant nightmares.
If you're like me, they're very descriptive too. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's like you see them doing the thing, you're like,
But
you
don't.
Asshole.
Yeah, but again, don't jump to assumptions thinking that you've been hexed or cursed.
It's pretty obvious whenever.
Yeah, you will know, and you'll be
like,
"This is not right."
Until you go through it, you're gonna kind of like be questioning it. But whenever it's actually spot on, you're like, "Oh no, she didn't."
Yeah, it's like one of my friends used to tell me all the time. Whenever something weird would happen when we were, when I do work for her, she'd be like, "Okay, that was you because I know because that was some unnatural shit." The way she says this is awesome, but the next step would be, how are you going to
handle this?
Yes, how are you going to defend yourself? You're going to throw it back. You're going to hex back.
Divination comes in handy.
Mm-hmm. First step is always divination, and
Hence, if they're waiting and just trying to get you to curse them so that way, they do their own reversal spell back to you with your own spell. You're basically giving them what you want, which is why I haven't cursed the people that are waiting for me to do something.
And that person's not even worth it.
Oh, well.
They think themselves up here, but they're down here.
You know that side street hooker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've met that person. It's not worth it.
Meat lockers.
Yeah. But, back to topic. Sorry. Do a divination first to find out what's going on. There are certain cards in tarot that represent like curses and hexes. Sometimes people get combinations of them. Yes, for me, and the moon was one of them. Hidden enemies, deception, betrayal. 5 of Wands can also be one of them as well.
The Tower.
Mm-hmm. You get those 3 in combination? Good luck. But, try it. It's taken me a few years to, equate, curses and hexes with those particular cards. And every time they've come up.
They'll come out in a prominent place, too. It's
yeah.
not just like in the Celtic cross, I've noticed that the moon will usually be like the foundation or what crosses your current situation or influence of others. Yeah. Typically there.
So, make sure you pay attention to divination. If you are using a pendulum, have somebody else do the dowsing for you with your yes or no questions because you have an emotional attachment to the question, so you will influence the movement of your pendulum.
It's not that you're moving your arm, it's just connected.
Yeah, you're like, I think this person's cursing me, or, oh God, I know I'm cursed. No, not necessarily. Failing that, have somebody else do the divination for you, which is what he does. So, your funkiness earlier.
What about it?
When you got attached to the cards and you made me read for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's okay to think like, okay, I got a lot of shade coming at me. What do I do about it?
Or, well, that was obvious. Did you see that candle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that candle's like brick.
Yeah, and that's another way to find out too. If you have candles lit.
Like the vigil candles or the glass encased ones that are supposed to be 7-day, but they're really not. But you can read signs through that.
Mm-hmm. If your candle comes out jet black, it's not good.
Mm-mm. There's also ways if you enchant water in certain ways. And then there's also people who enchant eggs to leave inside of the water to make formations as like an alarm system.
Yeah, and that's common with Brujeria traditions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was really popular with people on YouTube too a while back. I don't remember why.
Yeah, it happened after Bliss Me Ultima came out, I think.
Probably. Oh, speaking of which, there's a really good line in there about curses and hexes and just magic in general. Whenever you tempt with the fate of another man, a chain of events is set in motion. Are you prepared to handle those consequences?
Depends on winning the lottery.
Shoot, I would like to win the lottery.
Me too. I'm too lazy to buy tickets, so.
Mm-hmm.
He gets after me for that, and I still don't buy tickets.
Yeah.
We go to the store, we get sodas and ice cream, and then we come home and, oh, I forgot the ticket.
He distracts me too when we're going. It's like, I see what you do there.
Yes, I did.
That's like I got through your sight. I hid his birthday present in the closet with a cloaking spell.
Yeah.
And the cat helped me.
Yeah, I'm fairly clairvoyant. So, but
there's ways around. As I like to say, there are always ways around ways.
Yeah.
Quoting a bad movie.
But it's a bit of a magical do-si-do in here half the time. Yay, pagan household. But other ways of knowing that you're hexed or cursed, so this has happened to me a couple times. Animals act very weird around you. Well, I used to live in Las Vegas, and I got hexed really bad, and I was walking through my apartment complex, and birds were literally flying out of their nests and hitting me in the back of the head. Next thing you know, I got a flock of birds flying after me, chasing me out of my apartment complex. And so I waited around, in the laundry room, and people were walking through with no problems. It's just whenever I walked through there, I would end up running. So I went to some Wiccans that I know, these were traditional Wiccans, not
Neo-Wiccan.
Not Neo-Wiccan, they were like old school Wiccan. And they told me, I was like, yep,
they're
you got
traditional
hexed.
Wiccan.
You got hexed. Do this, do this, and do this. Did this and this and this. Totally fine.
Alexandrian and Gardnerian Wicca is badass.
Yes, it's one that's followed by tradition. So it's one of the, I guess you could call them the founding traditions or republic.
Wiccans. I'm calling them the founding Wiccans.
Yeah.
Like the founding fathers, but Wiccan.
So now if you think you've been hexed or cursed, use the resources that are around you, which is what he's learned. It's true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And listen to other people around you, especially if you're partners or...
Oh, are you talking about how you're bickering?
Pagans. Yes. I nag him a lot to do stuff.
No, I'm talking about whenever you get cursed, you tend to get really...
I get short-tempered.
Yeah.
I get very angsty and short-tempered.
I know, I'm like, are you okay? I'm fine.
I'm fine. Leave me alone.
It's like that.
Are you
part
okay?
Of Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
The sister that wants to be honest with thyself. I am calm.
I am calm.
I'm gonna pull that up every time that happens.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be doing that entire thing. So, but at the same time, there's a bunch of people who will throw hexes and curses out there that are really good at it.
And then there's a lot of people who just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, should I just do crossing work and let it go, or should I just show what a curse is?
So, how to handle it? Back on topic. Now, there's different types of work.
Oh, uncrossing work, reversing work, curse work, binding work.
What is the difference?
Between which ones?
All of them.
Uncrossing work takes it off of you. Binding work sticks it to someone, and it's like wrapping them up in it. However, whenever you bind someone, some say that you also bind them to you, so you don't get rid of it. Banishing means you get rid of them. Fly away, you deformed pelican. And then, what other one did I say? Reversing work is like you're getting a package. It's just like getting a package in the mail. You're like, this is not mine. So you return to sender.
Yeah.
I like your emotions. That's cute.
I know.
Curse work. I still would do uncrossing work and then curse work. Unless you do it like a transference type spell. But cursing work, obviously, cursing them. So, which brings me to and then I would recommend protection after you're all cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
And cleansing off yourself and your space after to make sure that funkiness don't reside. But the difference between a curse, a hex, and a jinx.
That's more your forte.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Why is that?
I just do the work. I don't title everything. I'm like, okay, go for it.
Well, I look at them like degrees. It's like there's a 1st degree burn, a 2nd degree burn, and a 3rd degree burn. The 1st degree would be a jinx. Very basic. It's kind of like the equivalent of tying someone's shoelaces together so that way they trip. Very short-lived, not very long-lasting. 2nd degree would be like itching powder in someone's underwear. Yeah, it kind of annoys them for a while. Hex, same thing. And then it goes away once they take a shower. Third degree would be basically putting a bucket of bricks over a door and letting it slam on their head to where it gives them trauma and probably breaks their neck. Or could.
Yeah. So.
A cuss takes devotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to generate a lot more energy to be able to do it.
And in my personal philosophy, no one's worth that much attention. Seriously, I'm not that obsessed with that person for them.
I'm a Scorpio though. I have fun with it. Whenever I'm pissed at someone, I run with it, and I'm just like, I've gotten a lot better at it, where it's kind of like taking a lot more to get me there. But when I start going, and I truly hate them, besides just annoyed, and I'm like, well, here, have this, so that way you learn, you stop, whatever. Once I am pissed, and how did Dorothy Morrison put it? Livid pissed. Mm-hmm. It's more like I enjoy seeing them squirm. I enjoy seeing them hurt, which isn't often anymore. I've gotten a lot better. But
yeah, because when he comes home and he's in a foul mood and wants to curse everybody, I'm like, dude, get some sage, smudge off, and go meditate. Here's some chocolate.
I don't even like sage, but I do like chocolate. Yes. I'll make you start enchanting chocolate and leaving it around the house.
Probably.
But yeah. Because a simple curse or a simple hex or a jinx, it's like, okay. It was kind of funny seeing that bottle fly at them from off the shelf without them touching it.
Yeah.
And you know what story I'm talking.
Yeah, but it wasn't so fun when the apartment smelled like sulfur for a week.
It was only rotting flesh scented.
It smelled horrible.
Bitch deserved it.
It smelled horrible.
It's not her fault that she smelled foul in our oven. Not a literal person. I wasn't killing anyone. It was a poppet.
That just sounded really creepy.
I know, right? I was like, dang, we sound like killers. It was a poppet being baked, made out of homemade clay with herbs thrown in, and some of our own black ox oil. See, self was promoting again.
Yes.
I do that a lot. Even when I work somewhere, if I really love my job, then I'm like, oh, well, we have that there.
Yeah. And for me, if somebody gets to that point, Fortes vinegar, which we also make, self was promoting, hey, I can do it too.
You try.
I just can't get the jar open anymore. That thing's sealed shut.
Well, did you see the amount of air coming off those herbs?
Yeah. So, that's a whole other video we'll go into later on. But,
maybe.
Yeah, with cursing and hexing, it's all on personal taste. You didn't think we're actually going to show you how to do something, did you?
Maybe later.
Maybe.
There was a friend back in New Mexico, and I taught her. You know which her.
Mm-hmm.
She knows which her.
Minutes left, so you better hurry.
And she wanted a basic curse. You know who you are, girl. And I'm going to send you this link. So, she wanted a basic curse to deal with someone that was being a real pain in the ass to her family. So, I didn't feel like going into full ritual, as that person had a really interesting experience with the last one. So I was like, just put black arts oil in their shoes. It worked really, really well.
Yeah. And there's my favorite quote that's an ancient Chinese proverb that's a curse.
Go to bed with itchy butt, wake up a smelling finger?
No.
Oh.
Oh, that could work. But may you live in interesting times.
Oh, God. My favorite was, may you eat off the same dish you serve your guests.
Mm-hmm. Time to lick the karma spoon, madam. Well, I shouldn't say the rest, but mofo, there you go.
Yeah, the karma spoon.
But it looks like we only have a couple minutes left. So, well, a minute now.
All right.
Yes, I'm obsessed with the time. Sorry, I just don't want to.
Well, I gotta get to bed anyways, so.
Yeah, but we're gonna try to do more videos. If you have any questions or suggestions, give us a holler. And remember, these are just opinions, so no hating.
Because we ain't no holla back girl. All right. Good night, guys.
Bye.
We're gonna try to make more videos too.
Yeah, so well, in more succession instead of like once every 2 or 3 weeks. We're bad.
Oops. Bye.
Bye.